Well, as far as hope goes, I do know that still, uh, I'm still trying to continue to do what I love doing, which is music. And I'm pretty sure that as long as you still have that passion, you can still be able to take that talent of playing music, whether if it's drums or if you sing, play guitar, or whatever. Uh, I know that as long as you still have it and as long as you still want to use it, I'm sure that it can allow you to do lots of good.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host Brian, and joining me today, hailing from Missouri, Chris Bates. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Brian, how's it going? Thank you for having me here. It's an honor.
No worries. And it's actually been a while since we talked because I think the last time we had actually talked together was we were doing that rock and roll band, the Boston collaboration.
Oh, yes, it was. And there were, it was actually that collaboration and a few others that still haven't made it onto my YouTube channel because I'm just I'm just a busy man. But sooner or later, I'll be getting to it. I got more videos underway, but it was definitely a fun collaboration that you and I did among the many that I've done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess you're also part of the armed services. Is that what it is? Looking at your profile pic, I guess. What do you do?
Yes, when I first joined the army, I'm a reservist. By the way, I joined in July of 2008. My first assignment was in psychological operations. I was part of the 308, the psychological operations company. I was with that unit while I was in college, getting my bachelor's degree in music from Missouri Western State University, which is located in St. Joseph, Missouri. That's where I live right now. And St. Joseph, if you're kind of curious about it, that's like uh, about 47 miles away from Kansas City. And my full time job is working at KCI Airport, which is in Kansas City.
Mm, I see.
And actually, while I was being a part of that unit and going to college in St. Joe at that time, as soon as I graduated, I actually got a call from my recruiter who was telling me that there are some spots open in the 312th Army Band, which is located in Lawrence, Kansas, which is what I'm currently doing today. And that's actually one of the greatest things that I could ever do as a musician, not only to serve my country, but to be a musician in the armed forces. It's really such a thrill, and the things that I get to do is just they're really a lot of fun. Throughout my time in the army band, I've been doing a lot of commercial gigs out in the community with various ensembles. Like we get to do concert band stuff. We also were our unit. Our unit does like a lot of things. So just to break down a list, we do marching band, we do concert band. We also have small ensembles. I also play drums in a blues band, and I got to sit in for a couple of rock bands that are within the group. And what I'm doing currently is that I'm being an auxiliary percussionist for a clarinet trio. I've also done some percussion for woodwind ensembles and stuff like that. So I tend to get around.
And you keep yourself busy too, that's for sure. I can see why. Actually, for those who don't know, when we were doing our Boston collaboration, I guess you kind of ran into, I won't say issues because I wasn't sure if it was any personal or anything military. Is that what happened?
Oh, it was more on. I mean, it was more on the home front. I don't want to give out too many details, but
That's
there was
fine.
just a lot of personal stuff that was like going on, and also a lot of the things with the family that just needed to get sorted out. It really doesn't happen very often, but there are just some times when I need to step away uh, and handle like family issues first, and sometimes sometimes it just needed to be handled privately. But the good thing is that I'm still trying to get things under control as best as I can, given how busy I am and stuff like that. However, I'm never too busy to stop drumming, especially when I have my time off, my much needed time off to be exact.
Much needed, yeah. It's okay, yeah. I just wasn't sure if it was family or military related, so it's okay. But we still got it done and still kicked ass too, so that's all good and everything.
Oh
And
yeah,
uh
definitely.
congratulations. I guess when we were seeing you on WhatsApp, it looks like you hit 800 subscribers recently.
Oh yes, I got that news yesterday, and I plan on doing a video thanking all of the 800 and however many more subscribers that came my way. Especially since I've only been on YouTube for the last couple of years. I joined in August of 2020 while I was in lockdown from the COVID pandemic, so I needed something to pass the time. And while I was still trying to figure out like all of that other good stuff to do while I'm while I'm not working, um, that was when I got more practice time to myself at home, and I was trying to figure out ways of how to put my own YouTube videos out. And more than 800 subscribers and more than 900 videos later, I've been cranking them out.
Yeah, do tell. And looks like you got quite a number of stories to tell, though. So it looks like I got some questions here for you. So looks like
Yep,
you're
fire
ready.
away.
All right. So let's start with the first one. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into drumming?
How I got into drumming. Well, the best way that I can describe that is to go back when I was 9 years old. I was living in Omaha, Nebraska at the time. We actually moved there, and I was staying with my grandmother while we were getting our new house settled in. I remember staying with her for a little while, and I stumbled upon her basement, and I discovered that there was a snare drum just standing there. And it looked pretty cool to me. I was wondering what it was, and I saw a pair of sticks that were like on it. So I was known to like wanting to beat on things, but not people to be exact. I'm like the youngest of three brothers. We fought like madmen when we were kids.
Brotherly love, yeah, brotherly love.
Yeah. Well, however, I decided, well, I was like just dabbling along with this thing, and I just liked how it sounded. And then my grandmother was like racing down the stairs, wondering what that noise was, and that was when I found that I discovered that snare drum just sitting there in her basement, and I like played on it so much I like kind of taught myself at first, and then I decided, well, I'm just gonna keep playing on that thing. So I'm still playing on this snare drum, and then sooner or later, soon as she saw how much fun I was having with it, she let me keep it, and that also led to like when I was growing up, I was like way too young to be watching music videos on MTV, and I saw the drummers with their really big, God knows how many drums and cymbals that they have, and that was like one of the instruments that started to draw close to my attention. I was also trying a few other instruments when I was old enough to try some at school. Like I started playing a violin, which didn't last pretty long. I also played like a saxophone for like a few years, and around the time I was still wanting to learn more about drums, and I actually built myself uh, a drum set because I wanted to imitate however many of those drummers that I've been watching growing up in music videos. Like there was MTV, there was VH1 and BET, and I couldn't remember how many other music channels there were back then when I was a child. But I always like paid attention to the drummers for some crazy reason, and I was like, well, okay, so I'm like listening, and I was like building a set of like toys and cans that I used to play with when I was like really little. So I kind of like built my first drum set like at around 9 or 10, and around then my older brother, my oldest brother, uh, he was teaching himself how to play guitar. So we were actually teaching ourselves how to play those certain instruments. And then when I was uh, still like trying to figure out, okay, well, this, I mean, this drum set player has like cymbals like right above him, and then drums like right in front of him. I wanted to do that uh, with my toys that I was like putting together to build my own custom set. So, well, that no longer exists. I'm pretty sure my mother still has pictures of it. If they were here, I probably would show them to you. However, it would pretty much lead to when I was 10 on Christmas when I got my very first drum set. Uh, my dad had a friend uh, who was like wanting to get rid of an old kit that he used to play with back in his younger days, and he gave it to him to give to me for Christmas, which in less than a year I like destroyed that thing. And like around that time, like before I got that drum set, I started taking lessons, which which became an ongoing thing, and that's something that I still do to this day, or whenever I find the time. Like I'm always still wanting to learn new stuff. But when it came to that first drum set, that was like my very first set. It was like some '60s built type of set. I couldn't remember the brand of it, and it came with some very old cymbals. So that set and the cymbals, I like definitely destroyed it because I played on it so hard, which led to uh, next year around Christmas, when I was like 11, I got an even bigger and better drum set, which was a Venus Series Mapex 5-piece kit. And to this day, I still play on that kit. And if you've seen my YouTube videos, like if you see like a 9-piece set that I have, that is where part of the 5-piece Mapex kit is. However, the only thing that is still working today is like the bass drum, the 12, 13, and the 16-inch toms. I also had to get the snare drums upgraded to one of Mapex's newest snare drums. So that was the kit that I've been playing with for the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And and I still have other drum sets that are in my studio. I'll tell you more about them later. But ever since I started getting a better set, that was when I got to getting more lessons, and the more I learned about what I was learning at the time, like getting down to playing some grooves and Bill's soloing and a whole bunch of other good stuff. I could take up your entire stream just talking about it, but long
Yeah.
story short, on that piece of note, that is exactly why I'm still playing drums today. I just loved it a lot, and well, what else could I say? I mean, I just love being a drummer, and I pretty much got my grandmother's snare drum to thank for that.
Yeah.
That was where it all began, and that's pretty much why I'm still doing what I'm doing today.
Yep. And does your brother, does he still play the guitar?
Oh yes, he does.
Does he do
He's a lawyer now,
Oh,
and
right.
however, he's a lawyer by day and Jimi Hendrix by night.
Does he play lefty and have it upside down and everything? Do it in the Jimi Hendrix style?
Actually, he's not a left-hand player. He's actually a righty, but he he definitely is talented. His name is Leonard, and he and I, uh, when it comes to musicians, he and I are like polar opposites. I mean, he likes to play certain things. I like to play everything. But I got him to thank for getting me into listening to a lot of alternative bands, and playing around in our basement. We definitely pissed off our parents and the neighbors on occasions, but we definitely have fun uh, doing music together.
That's good to
But that
hear.
was one of the main things I liked about that.
Yeah, you know you're doing something right if you're pissing the neighbors off. So we'll just leave it at that. It's funny too because
Yeah,
it could have been you could have been Dimebag Darrell. You could have been Vinnie Paul.
I mean, even upstairs, when I'm in my own studio here at home, there have been a couple of times when I had the police called on me for making so much noise.
Oh
That
man.
means I must be doing something right.
Yep. Oh, the cops. They're coming to get me.
Yeah,
All
but
that
if
sort
the
of thing.
police actually gets called on me again, they better bring Stuart Copeland to me.
Yes. All right. Uh, you did kind of jump ahead talking about the your kid and all in general. I guess. How many kids do you have right now? And I guess if you want to go into detail about
Oh,
them,
yes.
knock yourself out. Yeah.
Right now, I have a total of five drum kits. Now, one of those kits is one that has not been seen on my YouTube channel yet because I'm still trying to get the right heads and get the right sound and putting them together. I'm actually still trying to put it together to get more like of a lounge set. So that kit that I'm talking about is a cafe kit from the O'Dairy company. Have you ever heard of them?
I don't know.
Well,
I was gonna say, are they
they
more
make a lot
local
of
or
good
something?
custom drums though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I didn't know too much about them myself. However, I was looking for much smaller kits like that are made for travel. And right now, I got a couple of drum sets which can do just that for me. So the O'Dairy kit is yet to be seen, but one of my other kits that I live streamed with the other day is a four-piece Tama Club Jam kit, which is a really nice kit for traveling on the go. I can get that entire kit to fit in the trunk of my car because I've taken it with me whenever I wanted to practice it in my in the Army Band reserve building from where we do our drills. That I've taken it there many times. Now I can't do it with my other two sets though because they're way too big. Even though I have traveled with them, but they take way too much time to break down and set up. So if I got much bigger gigs, that's something uh, that I'll probably make time for that. But just for like traveling on the go, quick setup and set down, that's where I have the Tama Club Jam kit. And kits like that is definitely portable for me. However, I really don't tend to do it for like playing like arena type stuff or that kind of music. I just like whenever I want my sound to be toned down, but still give it a little bit of a fat sound, and that's when I usually would resort to going to that specific kit. Now you already heard me talk about my Mapex kit, which has expanded into a nine-piece kit, and and if you've been seeing the YouTube channel of mine with that kit in general, then you will probably see the following. There's an 8, 10, 12, 13. Uh, those are the tom sizes. I've got like those four on that one. There's also a 14 and a 16-inch floor tom. Those are the two floor toms that I have, and and 22 by a 16 bass drum as well, and and also my snare drum is also 14 inches as well. However, on my left hand side, I also got a popcorn snare, which is a 10-inch snare drum, and now as I was talking about the brand of that kit, the 8 and the 10 are both Ludwig add-ons that I actually bought just to add on to the kit. Plus, they also match the black color of my original kit, as did the 14-inch, which is part of the SBL Sound Percussion Lab company. Uh, that was the brand for the floor tom that I got from there. I actually got that used. It was a pretty good deal on it because even though the paint was still not there, it didn't do any damage to the sound when I was like replacing heads and stuff like that, and I still got the sound that I wanted. So that was another good reason why I decided to keep it once I was satisfied with how it sounded. And this was after I bought it, because as long as it didn't do any damage to any of the sound, I'll probably buy some other stuff. It doesn't matter if it's new or used, and if I could get a really good deal out of it. I really don't like to buy a lot of expensive things.
Mhm.
And also the 10 inch what was it, the 10 inch popcorn snare, that's a pearl, and I got a really good deal out of that from Guitar Center. I do like to shop from Guitar Center a lot. And now the cymbals, that is a whole nother story, because on my biggest set, I actually have a total of, oh, wait till you hear the number, 15 cymbals. And once I showed my army buddies what that drum set looked like, he was like, a couple of them asked me, like, "Are you trying to imitate Neil Peart?" Which, well, yes and no. Well,
Well,
I try to imitate a lot of people, especially him. May he rest in peace.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
definitely definitely one of my main influences. I also got more too, but the reason why I also wanted to make that sound kind of big is I wanted to have as many drums as it would take to imitate that drum fill to that "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. He actually had one of the coolest fills I've ever seen, where he like uh, went from the toms all the way down to his floor toms. I mean, I also got a couple of videos on that too.
You mean when a guy
And
leads into it, it's the dun 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 dun
oh
dun.
yeah, yeah, definitely that. And
Yeah.
so I pretty much broke down what my biggest kit was like. Now my second kit was uh, my second to large drum kit that I have. It was actually given to me as an anniversary present to my wife, from my wife actually, uh, while we were on lockdown in the pandemic. Because
Mm.
back then I only had the Mapex kit for so long. She thought it would be cool for me to get another kit that big. So I actually got a Mapex Storm set, and I've also added a couple more drums to it. Now, as far as the sizes go, the toms were just a tad bit smaller than what was on the Venus kit, but it still got the black color. She thinks that black is my favorite. The however the other kit, which was the Tama Club Jam, that's actually a blue one, so I actually got a little bit of a color difference there. Now, what I've also added to that Mapex Storm set was an 8-inch Yamaha tom, and uh, a Nightwood 14-inch floor tom, which is also another Mapex drum. However, I could not find another one that like matched the color, or at least close to it. Well, at least it was like almost the same, but it was like the only 14-inch one that I could uh, find in the market that I could buy just by itself. And so I've added that to the Storm kit, which was another 5-piece kit, and I really didn't like the snare of it, so I upgraded that one too. And that one has about a dozen cymbals on it as well, and that one is pretty much the only drum set which I have the entire Zildjian I series cymbals. Like, I'm a Zildjian person, and I've been recently getting into the I series cymbals. Have you ever played with Zildjian I series cymbals before?
I think when I was with cover group the one time where they had an acoustic set, which was only about like a couple sessions, I think there was Zildjian was the cymbals. But
Yeah.
in terms of me personally, no, I've been pretty much rolling with an electric kid ever since I started getting into drumming.
Oh. Well, if you ever get into acoustic drum set playing again, I would definitely recommend the I series cymbals, especially for when it comes to recording. I really love them. So now most of my drum sets have the I series cymbals, because technically uh, it was one of the cymbals that I was first introduced to when I actually got the Storm kit. I actually got it came in an entire package with the drums, the hardware, and the cymbals, which were uh, which were like brand new back then, and they were also thinner than your usual B8 alloy because this brand was supposed to replace the ZBTs, which are probably the cheapest. However, they wanted to make them not only as inexpensive as possible, but to get them close to giving a more expressive sound, like pretty much for what you want to do, like whenever if you're in a practice setting, or even a live setting, or even both. And I tend to want to do both at all times. And when I started to learn how to do some recordings with those cymbals, which are pretty much now on every single drum set that I have, it's actually been one of the cymbals that I could not stop looking into because I just really love the way that they sound. You'll also probably notice that I like to play with a lot of different crashes, especially if you see both of my drum kits as well as the covers that I've played for them
Just to,
throughout my
uh,
YouTube channel.
I was going to say not to interrupt, but which one did you use for our collaboration?
For the collaboration, if I recall, I was actually on the Tama kit, the Club Jam kit, and I actually do have. I got those same symbols. I do believe that one of them was, as far as the crash symbol goes, uh, there were two of them that I used. One of them was a 17-inch crash, and the one that I had on my right hand side was an 18-inch crash with 14-inch hi hats from the I series. They were Master Sound hi hats, and the ride cymbal that I used was a crash ride, a 20-inch crash ride, and it definitely sounded really good for such a small kit. In fact, I usually get a lot of good bass drum sounds out of that kit among the other sets that I played. However, I'm still improving on working on audio for all of my kits. Uh, but yeah, that the cymbals and the kit that I used, I'm pretty sure if it's still on your channel, which I'm sure it is, you'll go back to it and listen to how well it sounded along with your e kit.
Yeah, when we were doing it too, and I wanted to get you a little bit more airtime because the way I wanted to do it originally was we do the collaboration and I show how I play the song on my e kit that way.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, given the circumstances that what happened in your personal life, it was I just decided to just release it because I needed a video that week. So that's why I went ahead and just did my version of it, and then I just put it all together with yours, and I gave you a little bit more airtime just to kind of make up for it. So
Oh yeah, and I understand that.
just a
And
call even.
speaking of e-kits, there was one more other kit that I owned, which I did not mention, and I actually do have an e-kit myself. I don't play on it as much because whenever I don't want to deal with a whole bunch of noise, and if I got neighbors that are like really sensitive, or if I like want to play late at night or early in the morning, then that's when I usually break out my e-kit, which is an Alesis Nitro.
Hmm.
And I also got the expansion packet to go with it. So technically, it's a six-piece kit with four cymbal settings, which is really nice. I like to get a lot of really good sounds out of it. I'm also still trying to incorporate that if I ever need to use both electric and acoustic kits regarding on the types of covers that I want to do.
Yeah, you really looked ahead at the questions too, though, because those are pretty much all the ones that I sent over to you. So,
Oh yeah.
but just to kind of break it down each one. First off, what sticks do you play with?
The sticks that I play with, I got a lot of different ones. However, the majority of the sticks that I play with are all a part of the Vic Firth brand. A lot of my favorite drummers, a couple of them whose signature sticks I've owned are Vic Firth, and it was actually the same type of sticks that I started using when I started to take lessons and playing with, and I've been using them for quite a long time. So if I ever need to play with some of the most important sticks that I ever need to play with, especially when it comes to a lot of live performances. Like I'll guarantee you, 90% of the time I use a lot of Vic Firth sticks, and I got a lot of different sizes for a lot of different situations, and a lot of them are definitely Vic Firth sticks. So yeah, I'm pretty much a Vic Firth stick type of person.
That's pretty sweet too. Yeah, I rolled that too because well, it was just the first one I kind of got, and then it was like I don't know if I ever want to experiment with anything else. I'm so comfortable with just Vic Firth alone. I want to say that was also the sticks I was playing with when I had Rock Band. I don't know if you seen some of my other interviews or any of the other ones where I talk about Rock Band like briefly. Obviously, those are more near the end of each interview, but regardless. But
Oh, I have actually played the game when I was gaming with my children. I'm not much of a gamer now, but when it came to Rock Band, yeah, that was actually really fun because I did both the drums and the guitar, even though they really didn't feel like I was actually playing those type of instruments. But it was a really fun game.
yeah, at first it was fun because we also did it with my family too, and then everybody just kind of backed away, and it was just me really playing it. And it started off first with the guitar, then just decided to try drums one day, and I got hooked on it. So and it was a good workout too. So that was the funny thing. Uh, you were talking about influences, and I know you mentioned Neil Peart. I guess were there any other influences that helped you out?
Oh, there are so many influences. I don't even know where to begin
I
now.
guess outside Neil Peart, give me top five.
Top five. Well, now as far as an instructional uh, drummer, in a sense, there's a couple that would definitely make the list. One of them is Dave Weckl, and another would be Tommy Igoe, who has the Groove Essentials books that I've been. I usually like to play along to his tracks. Those are like some of my favorite practice tracks, and I've also did covers on them on YouTube. I always like to go to that as well. And another that I would like to mention is Jim Reilly, who is a drummer for Rascal Flatts. In case you might know who he is, he's also played with a whole bunch of other artists commercially. He's also an instructor, and I actually got to have a clinic with him, and also the second time that I've met him, I've also was given the honor to work on a book that he has written called "Survival Guide for the Modern Drummer." He and my music professor knew each other for many years, and I was taking college pedagogy, and I actually he actually referred him to me to write some notation for a piece that he was working on, and then when that came about, he actually hired me for his book and to work with him and to give more of an educational sense of what he was going to be putting into his book, as well as working with that with him, and it was such an honor. So he would definitely be on that list for sure. Now, as far as other popular music players that are like among the many on my list, there's a couple more that are going to stand out. So I already mentioned three, so I'll give you about two more that you want. One of my favorite drummers when it comes to R&B and funk. That's one of the genres of music that I enjoy playing. It would be well, I think I would pretty much give you two other names. However, when it comes to funk, I'm probably going to be giving you two drummers who have played for James Brown, and I'm talking about Clyde Stubblefield and John Jabbo Starks. And I actually learned a lot more about them because, I've been listening to funk for so many years. I definitely enjoy playing funk drumming, and when I uh, when I was reading a book on another clinician and drummer who I've seen play and whose book that I bought, his name is Zorro. He wrote the Commandments of R&B drumming book. It actually had a section that explained more about John Jabo Starks and Clyde Stubblefield's background before they became well-known drummers who had played for James Brown. Uh, Clyde Stubblefield had a whole bunch of syncopation grooving that was like not usually on the two and the four, where you will most likely see the snare drum hits like throughout his records. Like you'll pretty much know what I mean when you hear him like play within the groove and then like off the groove. That's been done on so many of his hits, like "I Got the Feeling" and "Mother Popcorn." Now, John Jabo Starks came from a jazz background, which he usually likes to do some of that syncopated funk, but he also likes to be more groove oriented and then like keeping like a straight type of groove, but also making it swing, but it's still also funky. And he did it with "Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine." Also, "Licking Stick," "Talking Loud," and "Saying Nothing." Yeah, I'm not sure if I was allowed to say that name, but if you know James Brown and if you actually listen to that song, I mean, he is definitely uh, he's definitely like one of the greats when it comes to funk drumming, both Jabo and Clyde, and there's like so many other songs from them that I've enjoyed playing with over the years. So in the funk drumming realm, those would be the ones who I would definitely refer to if you ever want to learn more about the songs that they've played and the kind of drumming that they do. And my the next drummer that I'll mention in the top five is one who's definitely made a name for himself in popular music, both past and present, and I'm still seeing videos of him today, and that is Jonathan Sugarfoot Moffitt. Definitely a popular name in drumming. He is well known for playing and touring with Michael Jackson. He's also toured with Janet Jackson, George Michael, Elton John, Madonna, Peter Cetera, just to name a few. I mean, his list of artists that he has played for on his resume has got to be a mile long. And one of the one of the things that I've seen in a Drumeo video of him when he was demonstrating like some of the things that he has put into the work that he has done while touring with Michael Jackson was how he like broke down certain grooves without getting too crazy, and also when it came to his experience and how he solos and also how he got the name Sugarfoot, because he definitely likes to go crazy with his bass drum foot. That's one of the things that really got my attention about Sugarfoot Moffitt. Like I already knew of him and the artist that he has played for. I like researched him many years ago, but when I actually got to see that Drumeo video that he put out about a few years ago, I'm pretty sure you'll still find it on YouTube. I always like to go back to it and to keep watching and learn some of his techniques, which pretty much landed him so many jobs with so many artists and playing with the late Michael Jackson among many people. I mean, how lucky was he to play for the King of Pop as well as other artists? I mean, he definitely paved the way for many other pop music drummers and so many other influences of my own. And like I said, I got so many of them, but the ones that I've been talking about were definitely on the very top for me.
The top five, yeah. Got me to wonder if his nickname was Sugarfoot. It makes me wonder what name would nickname all the death metal drummers that I listen to just abuse the bass nonstop every now and again on every single song too.
Yeah.
Maybe Cocaine Foot or something like that, or something like that. All right, that's a good list too. I actually really like it. Yours was actually a lot different because outside of like maybe the classic rock groups, obviously with Neil Peart, I know you mentioned him too. I know they mentioned about Buddy Rich. Was Buddy Rich just not on your list too, or is that?
Actually, he was. Like when I started taking lessons and when I was learning jazz drumming, uh, my instructor at the time, his name was Jeremy Deans. I can't believe I still remember his name. But yeah, he actually gave me a cassette tape on Buddy Rich's big band videos from like back in the '70s and the '80s. I believe also one of those tapes consisted of some solos that he did when he became a regular guest member on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he definitely could solo all over like crazy. And like I maybe know Buddy Rich, but I definitely try to learn like some of his jazz comping tricks and stuff like that. Now that's the kind of drumming that I don't normally do every now and then, but when I usually go back to those practice tracks from like the Tommy Igoe book, like I mentioned, and a whole bunch of others, like I still got a library of books with drumming tracks that I've collected over the years, and sometimes I tend to go back to the ones where I will most likely find those tracks, and then I would usually think about those videos I've seen of not only Buddy Rich, but I've also uh, learned some other jazz drumming from some other greats like Joe Morello, Gene Krupa, and Max Roach. I'm pretty sure there's some others too, but those were the ones that came to mind.
Yeah,
So I would
yeah,
usually kind of refer back to them and see like what exactly would they be able to do as far as like uh, their jazz repertoire. I always try to listen and study from them, and I also got like a book or two from them that I'll usually go back on as well. So uh, that's like uh, that's like one of the main things that I still uh, want to take time to learn as I continue to play drums in that jazz drumming aspect there.
I see. Yeah, that's definitely quite an extensive list too, and I'm sure we can probably talk all day about influences because I think I can relate for some of them, but mine are so totally different than what yours are. Because growing up through the '90s and 2000s and everything, those are the drummers I would say that kind of influenced me now, especially in the metal community too. So, but
Uh,
let's jump into your YouTube channel. I guess when did you start it, and what did you hope to achieve?
well, when I started my YouTube channel in, uh, uh, I believe the date that I mentioned, I still remember the date. It's August of 2020. Uh, I not only wanted to put out some covers of my favorite songs back then, but I also wanted to play a whole bunch of different types of music to uh, not only entertain them, but to also influence some other drummers who might take a look uh, at this drummer and say, "Well, he knows a whole bunch of genres and stuff. I mean, I gotta keep watching this person, see what other content he comes up with." That's exactly what I did when I was looking up other drummers too. And whenever I usually put out some other covers of some really popular songs, I was also looking out for other YouTubers who did similar covers of that song to see what they've done, and also like try and see how they play it. Like if they stay true to the original, or if they like to do their own thing. And that's pretty much one of the main things that I also wanted to do. Like I'm not trying to be like too much of a show off or anything, because I'm also one of those drummers uh, who's like groove oriented, and I do want to stay original to how the tracks are being played, whether if they came from a book or if they came from an actual album. or anything like that. I definitely want to give it the best performance possible and to give the song the respect it deserves. That's exactly what my intention was on doing each and every single track that I have done, uh, and uh, and it pretty much shows in every video. And I also wanted to do a lot of genres just to show how diverse I am as a player, because those who have been watching my YouTube channel may already know that I've played it all. I've played rock, I've played funk, I've played pop, blues, country, jazz, hip hop, also some grooves that have been played from all over the world, such as Latin and tango, ska, naningos, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mhm.
Just to show that there's not just I mean, I don't play just popular music. I like to practice a lot of things, because when I look at certain audiences and when I ask people about what their favorite kind of music is to listen to, and also growing up when I was learning a whole bunch of different music, and when I was like secretly rating my brothers and my parents' music collection, I was kind of curious to see what kind of music really made them tick. And I actually wanted to do the same when I was like interacting with some of my friends, and even when it came to like knowing what kind of audience that I was going to encounter before I get in front of a stage to play for them. Like I also wanted to know exactly what kind of things that they would be interested in hearing me play. It's pretty much that same kind of mindset that I have whenever I try and put together some stuff for my YouTube channel, because I want to put out a whole bunch of different things from like way back in the day and what's currently being played today. And if people have been learning from educational books and stuff like that, sometimes I'll uh, jam out with a track that I've taken from another book, and just to keep things interesting, just to keep the viewers on their toes. And I'm humbled by the responses that I've been getting from them. Like I don't expect a whole bunch of different views, or even if I was like gonna try so hard to get so many views, well, that's the kind of energy that I don't want to burn out, because I don't intend to put out covers too often. Like I was able to do it when COVID was around and I was
Mhm.
like home most of the time. But now that I still have like a full time job, I'll try and get back to the tracks as best as I can, and I'll try and make them different. And sometimes I'll even do a marathon of some stuff every single week, like for an entire month straight. I actually was going back to playing a whole bunch of different James Brown covers, and I put them on like every single week. And I also go back to many folders to see what kind of stuff that I haven't played with yet, because I've also played with so many different genres, and I try not to do it twice, because sometimes I do a little bit too much, but then again, I just can't help myself.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
And and also one of the other things that I've also done. Now I know like a lot of YouTubers have taken the actual track and does drum covers for it, which is fine. In order for me to not get like copyright striked or flagged too much without getting the risk of that happening to me, what I usually do is like uh, when I like started going to the Army School of Music before I got into the Army band. One of my fellow soldiers told me about a website in which I was able to uh, get purchases of reproduced drumless tracks of popular songs. It's on a website called karaokeversion.com, and I've also listed that earlier in my channels. I also listed a book that I've written too, along with that site, because I've also used that as a source to write my own book too. If you'd like to know more about that, I'd be more than happy to talk a little bit about that too. But I actually had to look into those types of songs if I wanted to search for like popular tracks because I play like I want to play like a lot of popular stuff, which a lot of it has not gotten me flagged, which is a good thing. A couple of them have, but I just want to make sure that I still like acknowledge like who wrote the song and who's it from, and also that I'm doing a cover of it, which is like also in detail whenever I put it in the text that throughout my videos. I'm
The
sure you've
disclaimer, yeah.
yes. Well, I haven't even put on the disclaimer too much. However, I think I probably should be doing that. But I also make sure that on every single video, like on the text on the bottom of the screen while I'm playing the cover, that it has the name of the song and the artist or the band who wrote it, along with the drum cover by Chris Bates. I mean, that's what you see in almost every one of my videos.
Is that what you also do with the live streams? Because it looks like you've been doing a good number of them too.
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I've been doing the live stream stuff for a little over a year, and I was actually I actually came across a message that has been sent on some of my other videos from a talent scout from Sessions Live. That was where I actually got approached to doing live streams, and I actually had to find a different laptop to do it with because the one that I had at home was it wasn't going to work. It was a much older one, so I actually it was something that I thought would be really cool, but I needed a better laptop to do it with.
Mm.
So I actually had to search for a really good deal on how to get one, and when the time finally came, and when I was still wanting to learn more about how to incorporate trying to get my interface with all of my microphones and just to try to get the sound that I need from my laptop onto my camera, onto the screen, into the audience. That really took a while to do. I mean, I thought that once I finally figured it out, my head was going to explode. It was that much because um, at first I only was working with one interface and I had like a set of 8 microphones to use, especially on my biggest set because it was like literally impossible for me to mic every single drum. And so when it came to like a few months later, when I found another supporting interface that I would be actually able to connect with my first interface, and I actually got another set of microphones to go with it, and I thought that I was actually going to be burning up some wires with that. However, there was a way around it to make sure that that never happened. So I was able to get myself. I was able to get myself a preamp, which is a Behringer 80A 8000, I believe. And there was also a Behringer UMC 1820, which was the very first one that I had. So I actually had a total of 16 microphone plugins that I could use if I needed to. I only needed about probably no more than 14 for my biggest set, which definitely worked out because if it didn't, well, I would definitely need to find another way to try and make it work. So that's what I've been doing on some of my recent videos, unless if I go back down to like one of my other smaller kits. And in order to do that stuff, especially when it comes to live streaming, like I would put my, I would usually try to put my profile up, and then I would get a list of requests available depending on the platform that I'm using. Now, Sessions Live was the first platform that I've used, and then it progressed to some fellow streamers and other YouTubers who are also like streaming as well, who have introduced me some other platforms, which I'm also streaming off of today. One of them is volume.com, and that also led to me doing some stuff on YouTube. And just recently, I actually began streaming on Twitch. So those are the ones that I'm currently working with at the moment, and those have been a lot of fun. It has it actually has not drawn as much attention as it did when I first started doing videos on YouTube, but at least it's getting there.
Yeah, I know
And
Daddy Drummers. Yeah, he was also doing
yeah,
Twitch as well. So
mhm.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
what
I
were you
even
gonna
got
say?
a notification from him.
Oh, did you?
Uh, there was also one other thing that I was going to mention about my streaming. Now I still got like the list of songs. Most of them are covers that I've already done on YouTube, and there's also some that I haven't even gotten to yet. Like I'm always on the lookout for more tracks of some songs that I may have heard that I haven't even played with, or even some of the ones that I have not played yet that I want to play. I'll probably add it on like all of my other lists too. And if you've watched any of my other streams, like they are never planned. I just usually just pick them off the fly, unless if anybody has like any requests, because I not only like to play what I want, but I also would like to play what they want.
Hmm. It's easier, yeah, with drums because then at least you'll be able just to improvise in case you screw up at certain parts. But I think it would be harder on a bass or a guitar because I feel like then you have to like learn how the chords are and everything too. So I think yeah, I did see some of your live streams before, and then it looked like you just did it all right there. And you just scoot straight on over to your drum set and just started playing too. So
Yeah,
that's pretty good too. I know,
yeah, just to get that transition.
yeah, and then I know Ash. He kind of helped us out with setting up the guide in order to start streaming, but he uses like OBS and something like that. Is that kind of what you use, or do you just go through YouTube and all that?
Well, I actually thought that it would be easier for me to go through OBS, which was what I used first, and I was like asking my audio instructor around that time if he has ever used OBS, which he has, and around around like the time when I was like uh, starting to get more into audio production, it was around the time when I was first approached to do live streaming as well, and I was like starting to get lessons in audio recording. I took lessons on that throughout the entire summer, which is which is how like I know exactly how to do some of the things that I know, and I'm still trying to improve my sound because I'm also trying to still learn like some of the tricks on how to uh, get like the best kind of sound out of my drums that I want. So and uh, and to get that through OBS, that was also like trying to interfere a little bit with the way that I want to like control the volume and all that other kind of stuff. So it actually took me a while to try and figure out how am I going to be able to get all of my uh, all of my channels that I got from my DAW into getting it into OBS, and to make sure that uh, once I got it like from my interface to my DAW, and I also had to get that into my OBS. Like, how am I going to be able to get that to work? Because I still want to be able to have the audience hear me. So it was actually a struggle at first. Like I thought getting the audio together at first was a struggle just to work with 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 my DAW, but getting into OBS so that I could live stream.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually had to reach out to not only some YouTube videos, but I also asked some personnel on Sessions Live on their support tab, and also I also reached out to other streamers too who could possibly help me out with that, and luckily they were all very useful.
That's good to hear. And best luck going forward. All right, we've actually almost been talking for a good hour, but we're down to the last four things. So, uh,
Mhm.
you mentioned a bit about doing some cover work in some rock groups, and I guess a lot of stuff in the military too. I guess, kind of walk us through it real briefly. I guess, what do you love most about doing that? And I guess, how did you get involved with each one of those?
Well, how I got involved in a whole bunch of bands. Well, lately I have not done a whole lot of work with with any other bands like outside of the military. Like I have been like in my youth when I was like in junior high and high school. Like I've also been uh, wanting to do some stuff like outside of school, and I did, especially uh, like going back to like when I was younger. I also remember playing with a couple of friends at a talent show, and our parents actually invited us to play at a bar, and we were just kids. But and I can't even believe our parents even let us do it. But
Underage,
yeah,
underage.
that's one of my that's one of my was one of my greatest memories. And I also got to be asked to play for a couple of cover bands, which I've done at the time, and there's been one original band that I did in high school. We were actually called the Social Workers. That was a punk rock band, and that was definitely a lot of fun to do. And I was also playing drums at my youth church on Wednesday nights. I was also really big into playing praise and worship music as well, which was definitely a lot of fun, especially when uh, stuff like that still gets me going to church every now and then,
Hmm.
which was also awesome to do. And I was also doing drumline, and I also got to play drums on my high school drill team. I was captain of it for a couple of years, which not only got me behind a drum set, but it also got me to uh, lead a group to do a whole bunch of hip hop grooves in the drum line, which was something that I couldn't do in the actual drum line that I was doing in high school. But those rules were thrown out the window once I got to lead my crew of street drummers as well.
Yeah.
And now when the time college came, when I was learning how to get into the music program at Missouri Western, I was also invited to play at a church as well, which led me to meet a man named Jeremy Sharp, who was looking for a drummer for a band that he was a part of called Royster. And I actually got to play with that band throughout my college years, which was definitely a lot of fun. And on the weekends, we got to do a lot of shows all over Missouri. We also got to play at a lot of places. We were in amphitheaters, in churches, and parks, coffee bars, and a whole bunch of other bars. And every time I went and played at a bar, I still kept getting memories of when I was 14 being invited to play at a bar.
Yep. I have
And
to
I
see your
was,
card there, sir.
yeah, I was way beyond underage, and I couldn't drink because my mother was with me at the time.
Yeah.
And
We had to we got to get a fake ID and then just like do it that way. Just try to get in there and try to slip some beers, and that's for sure.
no, I got no plans on visiting a jail cell.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
anyways, uh, around the time when I was doing that band, however, I actually it was around the time when it was around the time when I met my wife. I also I was also wanting to take some time off. However, I really couldn't even afford to get into college at the time. But then when I started learning about more opportunities of getting into the army, which was what I'd done, I'm pretty much talked about where I first started, and then I was I was still wanting to get into the army band at the time, but there were very many opportunities to audition. But then I did take an audition. But then, in case I didn't make it, I was going to be choosing another MOS, which is something that I probably should have done, or shouldn't have done. But then again, I don't even regret being a part of that unit because it also got me to learn a few other things too. Uh, However, using all of those perks that the Army was able to provide for me to continue my college education, that was something that I took advantage of. Around the time when I started to want to transfer out of the unit, when I heard that Army bands were now going to be accepting more percussion players, that was an opportunity for me to get back into wanting to get into the band and to do percussion. That is something that I'm really glad that I actually had the college experience first before I decided to take another audition. Because what I actually had to do in order to get into the Army band, which is what I'm currently doing today, I actually had to do what was called an AMPA. Now, an AMPA is called an Army Music Proficiency Assessment, and it tested me on uh, learning a whole bunch of different things regarding concert percussion, mallet percussion, marching percussion, and drum set. And when I actually got to the School of Music after spending time with the Army Band, I actually got to have more time to prepare because what you're actually supposed to do for this AMPA is to put together the pieces that are given to you in a packet, and you actually have to go and get this packet, and you'll have less than 24 hours to prepare the music that you're supposed to learn before like I would usually get the packet like the afternoon before I get to the audition, which is tomorrow. Now, I didn't do it when I actually got into the Army Band because I had like a whole lot less time, but I was given like from the time when I came in, I was given lots of hours and lots of time to use the practice rooms to play my stuff, and then when I felt comfortable and ready, I would get the commander and play it. However, it was a much different scenario when I did AMPAs at the school, and I did three of them. And uh, I actually had to spend the whole night learning those pieces, and I actually had to learn them. And then I can still keep the music, but then I would have to play it for my instructors the very next morning.
Mhm.
And
The room for air.
also to give in a little bit more detail. Now, for percussionists on the AMPA, we actually had to do some measures of music, which was derived to playing two concert snare pieces. We were also given a couple of marching snare pieces that was in the packet, and we also had to do some mallet music. There were two of them that we had to play, and there were also two drum set charts of some pieces in which we didn't even actually have to have the recording, but when we played along with it, we were actually allowed to use the chart. And now we also got an opportunity to play some of our own pieces, and they were put into four umbrella categories, and we actually had to provide the tracks, and we had to make sure that there were no drums in the background because they actually wanted to hear us play it. So the first umbrella category, if I remember correctly, was your popular music umbrella category. So you could choose to play rock or pop, country, maybe a little bit of metal if you wanted to. That's exactly what that category was. The second one is your R&B and funk category. So you could choose a hip hop song, a funk, or any kind of R&B song. The third umbrella is for your jazz drumming category. So you could choose a jazz song, Dixieland, blues, or anything that's jazz related. And the fourth and last umbrella category is grooves from all around the world. So you could choose a Latin song or a tango or like some kind of a samba if you wanted to. There are many other lists that detailed it, but that's exactly what I had to do uh, for those particular AMPAs. So that's exactly how it breaks down. And once I was able to get it to the point where I could actually pass it, and as soon as I realized that I did pass it, that was like one of the greatest feelings. So now I get to be qualified to play for the Army Band and to serve my country.
Yep.
So that
Two
was
birds, one stone.
so yeah, I actually kind of got the best of both worlds there, and it was a really thrill. It was really a thrill to do it, and it was like really, it was like one of the hardest auditions that I've ever had to do for any type of school, let alone being in an army band.
Yeah, it certainly does, especially if you got less than 24 hours to kind of
Yeah,
like learn the song. So, I mean, like, Jimmy Christmas, I need at least a couple days to learn how to do it before I start jumping in and doing a song. I mean, jeez. They
yeah,
really, they're really putting you on the spot. So it's almost like no pressure, no pressure. But then, like, it's total pressure at the same time. So I can see what you mean. But it's good to see. It's really helped you out there, buddy. So
yeah,
best of luck to you going forward. Uh, a couple times during this interview, you have mentioned about COVID and I guess being able to work from home and stuff like that, maybe on some days. Have you been back and forth? And I guess how has COVID affected you mentally and personally and family wise?
Well, it definitely wasn't easy, especially when COVID starting running rampant. Like, like I kind of kept thinking, like, uh, like, am I ever gonna be safe around my family, or like, how much longer am I gonna be like stuck in this house? Which is pretty much what led me to start doing my YouTube channel. I wanted to pass the time doing it, but hearing about COVID was not fun at all. Unfortunately, there was a time when me and my family actually contracted COVID. Thank God we
Mm.
were all vaccinated. That was definitely not fun to deal with. But when it started getting much worse and when the vaccines weren't available, we had to take every kind of precaution available before I even left the house. And and I was just so sick of doing that. And hear about all those people who have had it and just dropped off the face of the planet, that was really depressing. I didn't want that happening to any of my family or even myself. It was something that I really did not uh, want to hear about it. And every time I was like looking up on the news, whether it was on the internet or even on the TV, you could not escape it. They were always talking about it. it and it was like, are they ever going to find a way to get this done? And some people like really didn't even want to wear masks, and some people pretty much didn't have like a choice. And then the death toll kept rising. Uh, our community was a lot much smarter about it. We didn't have very many fatalities, but it still worried me a lot. It definitely did not settle well, which which pretty much made me want to spend more time, like, in order for me to forget about it. I mean, that's when I usually stayed home and just figured out uh, a little bit more about how to put my channel together, because because if I'm going to be staying at home, at least I want to be able to do something that just makes me happy, which is doing my music and playing drums and maybe writing some more stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it seems to be some sort of blessing in disguise. I don't know. In some of my other interviews, it's been when I talked with like the other drummers, they mentioned how it allowed them to expand and do other projects, which it seems it did the same thing with you too. You were able to jump into YouTube and stuff like that, and able to expand on it. And now you got a nice little presence going too. So that much at least is good. Obviously, with everything else, it doesn't seem like it is going away. So it looks like there's always some sort of different variant or something coming out. So I think this winter may be a true chest of grit, to be honest. So best to play it safe out there, bud. So stay safe.
Yeah, I plan to. I hope you stay safe too.
Yeah. So I guess now we've reached this part of the podcast where now I give my interviewees a little bit of freedom to ask me anything, or if there's anything you'd like to get off your chest. So, fire away.
I'll get off my chest. Well, uh, I'm not exactly sure. However, there's always like some type of there's always one burning question that I always have to ask some other people when it comes to doing their channels, because sometimes I usually think that they would know a lot more about this than I do, because my YouTube channels, whenever I like do my videos, like I always have like a lot of open space, and I always see like some people who actually have like more soundproof rooms. Like, do you happen to know uh, any other uh, any other tricks on how to like get more soundproof quality surroundings in your place?
I know bass traps in like the corners of the room are probably one ways to do it. Uh, Technically, my basement's not really soundproof. In fact, you could probably hear something just drop upstairs and it would just ring right through. So my basement here is not really soundproof or anything like that. But I've seen people just put like, I don't know what kind of material it is, but you know how it just hangs up on the wall and it kind of absorbs the sound so it doesn't like go through and people can't like hear you next door.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they put it like in patches, like kind of like separate here and there, and sometimes they'll have it like in rows and stuff like that. But that was about it. But it seems like if you're in a house that doesn't have that sort of soundproofing or whatever, like if it's just plain insulation, and even that's not really doing the trick, it seems like you might have to do a commitment and do a big renovation project in whatever spot you want to soundproof. So that it's costly, yes, but if it feels like it's totally worth it, then you should probably go for it. But that's that's pretty much my take on it too. At least from what I've seen with like other people who do like their own home studios. So
Yeah, and as I also mentioned before, when I was like trying to get my uh, sound and stuff under control, like it's something that I'm still learning. Like I am no professional when it comes to doing audio as far as drums concerned. Like I just try to get it to the point where I feel like it's going to work for me. So if anybody is like watching this podcast, just uh, like I also just would like to let you guys and Brian know personally that I do plan on trying to get the best sound that I can also get. Not only for you guys, but also for myself. Like some days they're good days, some days that they are bad. Uh, it's just something that I'm still trying to make work. So as long as you continue to listen and just be open-minded, I'll definitely do my best on that end. I also plan on doing the same when it comes to my live streams too, and the majority of them, as long as they don't get flagged for probably any unwanted tracks that people may have a problem with having posted on YouTube. It
yeah,
doesn't happen very often, but it actually has happened a couple of times. But the only time when you'll also see the live streams in their entirety is when I am doing those exact same uh, streams that I multi-stream with. The majority of them you can see in its entirety on YouTube.
I see. Yeah, I don't think anybody's really going to judge you for the sound. Just as long as they're able to like hear your set and everything, then you're pretty much fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty much make sure they're able to hear your set while the song is playing over the song's drums, or if you're just using drumless tracks, just make sure it's in time, so to speak. So
Oh, and I also mentioned really briefly that not only have I been working on a channel, but even way before I started doing YouTube covers, I also made a book of my own. Would you like to know a little bit about it?
sure, go ahead.
Okay, and I actually left a copy of the book in my case, so let me go get it real fast.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, so I actually got a copy of this book here. It's actually called Pop Music Drumming. It's actually got my name written on it, which is this is one of my only publications that I was fortunate enough to put together. It's my first, and it may not be my last. I also got some ideas of some future publications in mind, but I actually been promoting this book in my YouTube channel back in the earlier times when I was starting to do the channel. It also has a link to where you can purchase a copy from it. It's from a company called Amalgam Publishing. Uh, they actually have been started by a couple of college classmates of mine who took interest in wanting to put this book together, and after doing 5 years of research and over a year of many rewrites and possibly making every single kind of mistake that there was in putting a book like this together, it was actually in the end it turned out to be a real big success. And basically, what this book is that it talks about what has been done in music as far as like the genre is concerned. It also gives a brief history that I outline as to how rock music and pop and country and funk came to be, and also the role that the drummer plays in playing those particular genres. And as you can see, it's also got transcriptions of some popular songs, as well as various examples that I've written for certain types of genres of music that can be played on the drums. It's also listed a name of certain artists and bands and the drummers who have played for them, and it's a really good source for anybody to have who would like to know more about how certain types of music is being played, and also what kind of music to look up, and also some drummers who you might like to research. And this has actually become a source from when I was like doing research by reading a whole bunch of other books and looking up certain artists and music as well. So it's pretty much a compilation of what I've learned, and I would like to share that same knowledge to anybody who'd like to pick up a book like that. So it's a really good source for you guys to have, and it's also got almost 200 drumming tracks that are played by me that you can listen to once you read the book. It was really fun for me to put that book together, and if anybody wishes to get some information to purchase that book, you can also get a hard copy of that book. There's also a PDF copy if you'd like to download it for your Kindle or your laptop or wherever you like to get like to read ebooks digitally. So you'll definitely have a lot of fun learning from that book, as I did putting it together.
Yep, he definitely keeps himself busy too. That's for sure, and that's
Indeed.
just very good. Congrats there, buddy. That's actually very cool.
Thank you.
I think I can name a couple guys in our community who would actually like to read something like that. So, all right, did you have any other questions or anything else you wanted to mention before we jump to the last question?
Uh, Not too. There's nothing else that comes to mind. So, uh, whatever might that last question be?
Uh, all right. I was going to ask first about the
Oh,
whole thing about Missouri,
that's
but no,
okay.
no worries. But the last one is one that I normally like to ask all my interviewees about. Given what COVID has done, and I guess even your experience with it too, I think nowadays it seems there's a little bit of despair. I think now it's kind of like transformed to like anger and everything else. Now we kind of blame whatever it is we want to throw blame at too. But I think the biggest thing is somebody needs hope out there. So, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians out there?
Well, as far as hope goes, I do know that still, uh, like I'm still trying to continue to do what I love doing, which is music, and I'm pretty sure that as long as you still have that passion, you can still be able to take that talent of playing music, whether if it's drums or if you sing, play guitar, or whatever. Uh, I know that as long as you still have it, and as long as you still want to use it, I'm sure that it can allow you to do lots of good for wherever you're coming from, whether if you're living with COVID in the States or if you're out in any other parts of the country. Uh, all I can hope for is that as long as you still have that passion of music, you better, well, that might not be the right word. I'm hoping that you can still be able to hang on to that passion and to continue using it for as long as you live. Because for me, like I said before, playing drums is one of the greatest things that makes me happy. Like I'm also a father of two and a stepfather of four. Very independent girls who are now very independent women who are definitely doing some good for the great humanity that we are living in. Whether they want to find ways to get rid of COVID or whatever they want to be out in the world, uh, they can definitely do that too. And also as musicians, there's still lots of us that really want to reach out to people with our musical talents, and if that's what you strive to do, then by all means, just go for it. It's never too late, and you can always find the time to do it. That is only if you would like to make that time, because it's something that I really love to do, and I definitely would not want to continue living on this earth doing anything else other than what I love. And if it is going to be making music sooner or later, then I'll continue to do that until that time comes for me. So that's pretty much all I can say about that.
Yep. And I was also going to mention when you start saying about your daughters and stepdaughters too. I see, hence the shirt too with hashtag outnumbered. So,
Oh yes, yeah, I got all girls. I don't have any boys.
I see. I don't know, but still, congrats nonetheless. I guess has Missouri really lifted its COVID restrictions? Has it been somewhat trying to get back to normal too?
They are doing their very best to get back to normal too. Some restrictions have been lifted. It hasn't been long since my job at the KCI airport has lifted some traveling restrictions. Well, some people are still wearing masks if they feel like that they're a little bit more like immune compromised, which is their right. And so far, those mask restrictions have been lifted. We don't have to wear them if we don't have to. However, there's still, I mean, vaccines are still open for those who still haven't gotten them yet, and I do believe that later on in the road, if things continue to improve and if we don't see much cases, then I mean, I'm sure that there's light at the end of the tunnel for all of this COVID monkey business that has been tearing the world apart over the last couple of years. And sooner or later, I just have a feeling that whether if it goes away or if it doesn't, it should not affect our lives. At least I hope it doesn't. Not in the state of Missouri or even anywhere. I really don't wish any more of this COVID on anybody.
Yeah.
But as long as we can continue to live our lives without having the fear of getting COVID as bad as it was over the last couple of years, if it's still continuing to improve like it has been, then I do feel that we may have a really good chance of getting back to the way that things used to be.
I see. Yeah, spoke like a true prodigy, as I would like to say. You said you weren't too far away from Kansas City. Is it kind of worth visiting around this time of the year? Because I know wintertime it gets pretty hellish in terms of like winter-wise and everything else. So,
Well, around the winter time, the snow is the worst. Like sometimes I would even have the slightest problem driving to work from St. Joe to Kansas City if it's like snowing really bad. Like I'm not going to be risking my own safety for that. So right now, in the summertime, I mean we've been getting a great deal of heat. I'm lucky to have this air conditioner in my room. So
yeah.
yeah, because I actually when I was practicing upstairs after my first stream, like the heat was getting hotter and my air conditioning systems was like failing. I literally had to stop, otherwise I was going to get a heat stroke. So that's just something that that's just something that has become pretty much of a normal thing when it comes to the summer, because there are like most days that if the heat gets pretty crazy, then you're better off chilling out in a swimming pool or in a room that's air conditioned, like the one that I'm in now. Because because if my practice space isn't air conditioned enough, then I might not spend a lot of time in there. I mean, I can spend some, but not very much, because when I got out of there, I was like drenched in sweat, and I was trying to like hydrate some more, and so it has its advantages when it comes to when the heat comes and also when the winter comes. So I would say, like, however, when it comes to Missouri, the worst time to ever come to Missouri would most likely be in the winter, only when it snows.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then you're okay. But it's just crazy when the snow comes, and if it's a blizzard,
That's even
Make
worse.
different,
Yeah,
yeah, make
because
different travel plans. I mean, that's the best advice I could give you about that.
no, I know too because I don't know which interstate it is, but it looks like that one coming into Kansas City, there's like always got some sort of major crashes going on too. So that's always like bad thing too. You think like, I mean, Christmas, how fast are these people driving during this winter time and everything too. So it's almost like, yeah, I don't think I would want to be living there to be honest. So that's
Uh,
just me though. That's just me. So
yeah.
that's fine.
However, when it comes to like finding things to do in Kansas City, well, I definitely wouldn't want to speak too ill about some of the bad things that usually or even sometimes happen over there because that's something I really don't pay attention to. But there really is a lot of really good things to do in Kansas City. It's actually home of the 2020 Super Bowl winners, the Kansas City Chiefs, and
Cheats.
the World Series winners of 2015, I believe, the Kansas City Royals. So you're definitely gonna be seeing a lot of stuff from them if you like to go to any of their games. I'm not too big
Yeah.
of a sports person, however, I definitely enjoy uh, supporting my home teams any way I possibly can.
Yeah. And Patrick, my homie, the biggest gain you guys could ever had too. So I'll give you guys hats off to that.
Mhm.
You're gonna go far. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, all right. So Chris, we've reached the end of my podcast here, buddy, and I think you might have set a record. I think you might have beat out Eric Henninger because I think his was the longest podcast so far. So
Oh, the
I think,
longest.
yeah, I mean, we talked for a good hour and 30 minutes here, bud. So I mean, it's still going. So
Oh wow,
I,
I must have talked too much.
no, you're good. You're good. I mean, by all means, I mean, it gets a chance for people to know you a little bit more, but like I said before, you pretty much do a whole bunch of stuff. So it looks like you keep yourself busy doing all this and that, and as well as like as I said, two birds, one stone. You're able to serve your country, but also do music. So thanks for your service, though. I probably should have mentioned it sooner, but thank you for your service, bud.
And thank you for support, and for that, I salute you.
That's what we say. All right, thank you so much, bud.
Thank you.
All right, so any other final shout outs or anything else you want to say before we close out here, bud?
Well, I do like to say, now I am going to be making a big thank you video for my 800 subscribers, since that is one of my most recent milestones. But also for those of y'all who have supported me, left me some kind words in the comment sections, and for the attention that you have given my videos. Thanks again, and thank you for watching this podcast as well. And as long as your support keeps coming, I'm gonna keep coming with more. And there's no stopping my channel anytime soon. I'm gonna keep going until probably the day I croak.
Yep.
And
Uh,
thanks to you again, Brian, for having me. It is really an honor to be a part of your podcast.
no worries. That'll be $20. That's what I always like to say too. That's gonna be a catchphrase to the day I die. So, all right. And a big shout out to the drumming community for supporting this guy and helping him get all the way up to 800 subscribers right now. He is one step closer to 1,000, baby. So, all right. Chris, thank you again so much again for coming on, and thank you for your service. And everyone, stay safe. Stay tuned, y'all.
Thanks again for coming.